Booch is really good, but I'm not sure if I prefer ice cold or at room temperature. Call me crazy. I know I'm weird. Thanks for hanging out with me in my studio. My name's Luke. This is Absolute Audio. Today I'm going to do another video for a classic synthesizer from the 80s called the DX7. There's a million videos about the DX7 on YouTube already. I'm just going to make one more, and you're going to watch it and learn something, hopefully. So uh, there's a website. I'm not sure if you're aware of it. It's called This DX7 Cartridge Does Not Exist, and it uses artificial intelligence to create presets and sound banks for the DX7 Mark I. You can then import those into Dexed, which is the free VST and library and editor, and also Arturia's DX7 V from their V collection. And then, of course, once you get them there, you can put them on your hardware synth, which is right over here behind me. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to create some random sounds. I'm going to play them and show you how cool it is. I really like that it uses artificial intelligence. It takes 155 of the DX7's parameters, learns them, figures them out, recodes them, basically rolls 155 dice, and then uses all the variables and relationships between them, is how I think about it, and creates a sound from it and gives it a name. Some of them don't work, some of them just are really noisy, but some of them are awesome, and I've saved a couple of them that I made just earlier that I think sound phenomenal. So let's check it out. Okay, so here is the Arturia DX7. If you're not using the synthesizer, don't worry. I'm going to get into a free VST called Dexed that will allow you to use all 6 operators of a DX7, and it sounds to me exactly like the hardware or the Arturia version. It lacks the effects that Arturia has added and a lot of the usability, but anyway. So here's a couple sounds that this website generated using artificial intelligence that I think sound phenomenal. I just came up with these earlier. I'm going to go through this cartridge. A couple sounds. I'll just start at the beginning, I guess. Go through them and let you get an idea, and then I'm going to import one. And whenever I rename the sounds, when I rename the cartridge inside of Arturia's VST, I'm running this standalone mode. It crashes the app, and I have to restart it. And then it does something weird. Instead of 32 presets, it'll have 31. Anyway, that's kind of usable. For me, they come in a little quiet. Went the wrong way. So that one's created by artificial intelligence. The title is O-OPRN. I think that sounds awesome. What I really like about this is the sound is yours. The website boasts 99.9% uniqueness. It's 99.9% that the sound has never been created before. Sorry, I'm not much of a keyboardist. See, that one doesn't do anything. This one's cool. That's all it does. Once you get it imported into DX7 V, you can add effects and all that stuff that you couldn't otherwise do with the hardware or the Dexed librarian. A lot of them sound like Rhodes pianos to me. And I went through a lot of them trying to change the algorithm, how the six operators are interacting with each other, and if it doesn't have sound, I've changed envelopes and all kinds of stuff. Sometimes it just won't work. This is one of my favorites that I've heard come out of this generator. It sounds awesome. One other one. Do you know what that is? I don't know if that's what it is. Excuse me. It reminds me of Gizmo from Gremlins, Mogwai. I don't remember how the song goes. It's been 30 years or whatever since I've seen it, but somehow I remember that sound. That's what it sounded like in my memory. It could be totally wrong. You remember things inaccurately, and it could sound, you know, it could sound more like noise or something. I don't know, but those strings. That's a cool bass. So it's a mixed bag. C'est la vie, right? So let's check out the website. And again, the link is in the description. It's a mouthful. It's called This DX7 Cartridge Does Not Exist.com. And I'm going to go ahead and, no, I don't need to close this. So there's the website. That's what it looks like. You can scroll through it and read about it. Why am I doing this? Here's a link to Dexed right there. If you don't have it, you can get it off his website, or I'll put a link down below for you. Here's a link to presets by Bobby Blue, and that's going to go to Bobby Blues. So there's billions of, maybe not a billion. I think I have like 1 million preset sounds for the DX7, and it's just an amazing instrument. It uses 155 parameters within a voice, and so I mean you can see how this uses artificial intelligence. So I'm going to click here, and it's thinking. Here in a minute a pop-up will appear asking me where to save. Go ahead and save it on the desktop, and you know, I'm just going to leave it that name because, like I said, when I renamed it in the Arturia VST, it crashed the VST, and that's it. So let me generate another one just for the hell of it. So there's 2 of them, and it's going to appear. It's a .syx or system exclusive file. That's the format. I get an icon because I have MIDI aux installed. If you really want to dive deep, and it's a good utility to have as MIDI aux. So I'm just going to import these 2. So I go up to my little my stack here, import, and you can't see it, but it's just asking me to point to where they are. Do one at a time. Not responding. It's thinking, oh, imported successfully. Figured it out. Let's go ahead and do the other one. It's such a small file. It's like 8 kilobytes or something. There we go. And okay, so now we can go here to our preset manager. Thanks. Desktop system exclusive. Well, it's only showing me one of them. Whoops. Only showing me one of them here. Let's clear that. Let's go to my banks. It's only showing me the one of them. So it did this to the last one when I imported it. It changed the name of it on its own to desktop system exclusive, which is I stored it on the desktop. So I'm just going to go with this one. You can do them one at a time or as you see fit and crash your own VST while you're shooting a video. I'm not going to bother with all that, but that sound was pretty neat. So here is the AI. That's the DX7, man. And now I could put effects and all kinds of BS on it, but it's dead. It's a little bit there. Some of them are noisy, some of them aren't really doing anything for you. I like that. I see what it did. It did import both of those. So I made two different cartridges on this DX7 cartridge does not exist.com, the website, as I'm going to refer to it from here on out. And I put them on the desktop. I let them have their artificially intelligence generated file name for the system exclusive file. And if you look, there's 01 here, 01 here, 02 here, 02 here. And when I go to my banks, it put them all under this one bank. It's coming from the desktop. So maybe import one, rename it, import the other one, rename it, or restart your software. I've just updated my Arturia, I want to say last week when I installed the SQ80, so maybe this is a bug. Maybe not. I mean, this thing's been out for 3 years or so. So, all right. So you can see as I go through them, I get 2 number 1s, 2 number 2s, 2 number 3s. Sounds like a trumpet. And you can change the algorithms, and you might get a sound out of something that's otherwise not. This one's called, looks like it's the violin, but it doesn't. Some of the bass sounds are just menacing. It's just heavy. I like it. Bang. Not much of a bang. E organ. Is that usable? I don't know. Does anyone else have that sound? No. Just you and me. Oopsie. I mean, that kind of sounds like a harpsichord. Somehow it not only scrambles all the parameters and the algorithms and the envelopes and stuff, but it creates a name. Hours of mindless entertainment. So if we go now to Dexed, I'm going to close the Arturia. And if we go just to Dexed. Let me start that up. Let me get it in the frame here. So I said I would talk about which one is better. The Arturia DX7 V, Dexed, or the hardware. And I'm gonna make it real simple. They all do something different, but the Arturia is the best. Here's why. Dexed it's a lot to look at. It's not too bad as far as user interfaces go. It's not resizable. You can run it in your DAW. It's a VST. It's super powerful. It's a great librarian, but it doesn't have any effects. I cannot edit and shape sounds nearly as quickly in it as I can the Arturia version, and the effects in the Arturia are amazing. And with the Arturia, I can import system exclusive just as easily. I'm going to show you how to do that here real quick. I'm going to go to Cart, and here is all my cartridges. There's so many of them. These are free. You can find them online. You know, I've got a link somewhere. I can dig it up and post it. But all I'm going to do is going to take one of these from my desktop, one of these non-existing artificially generated cartridges, and I'm going to drag it right here into Dexed. Let go. And it's going to have this big long file name. Hit refresh, and there it is. Now here it is, indexed. And there's that same sound in Dexed. All I did was drag it from my desktop into the area. So this is your landing page. You go down here at the bottom left. Sorry, I kind of rushed through that. I would just assume everyone's familiar with this plugin. It's free. It's been out forever. It's like a free DX7. So down here in the bottom left, you go to Cart and drag your artificially generated cartridges in here. Right click and hit refresh. And let me go ahead and do the next one, so you'll see both of them. It's got that big long ugly file name. So let me do the next one. Drag and drop. Let's go ahead and hit refresh, and it should be right here at the bottom. Yep, there they are. So it's nice. I can import them separately, and Dexed will recognize them as the actual file name and not combine them into one like Arturia did. So like I said, there's pros and cons. I should talk a little bit about the pros and cons of the hardware DX7 behind me while we're here, because next I'm going to move these sounds over to that DX7. Maybe it's a pain. That DX7 is a pain. It's got a bad battery. I have to tune it every time. Those are some of the drawbacks of having the hardware. So all right, let's close that. Let's change the algorithm. Oh. Can't play Black Sabbath with that. That's just menacing. All right. So to send this to the DX7, all you need to do is right click, send cartridge to DX7, and there it is. I guess I could go over there and turn my DX7 on, but I'll have to tune it. I'll have to hit the function button, and then I think number 9, and then I have to set it to MIDI channel 1. And because the battery's dead in my DX7, uh, I can load sounds to the internal memory and play them, but as soon as I shut it off, they all disappear. And I have to tune it just right. So doing a shootout with the DX7 isn't really I don't feel it's accurate because the sliders, the slider's almost 40 years old. If I try to tune the data entry, try to tune it using that data entry slider or whatever, it's not going to be as exact as it should, and um, it's just a pain in the ass. So I've got all these hardware synths around me. That one's a pain in the ass, but it's easily one of my favorites. The Matrix Brute on my right, which is off camera, being one of the other ones. It's my absolute favorite because of its quirks. And I grew up using hardware and never working in the box, and I would use tape machines and microphones and amps and actual synthesizers. So moving away from that into the box is not something I'm 100% ready to do. I will still throw sounds into my DX7 when it's appropriate. It's not really appropriate right now because if you've got one, you understand why I'm ranting right now. So I'll stop. One of the reasons I keep it is because it's a piece of history. It's almost as old as I am. I think mine serial number was made in 1983, 83 or 84. I was born in 81. So, and the key bed on it is the best. It's the best key bed in this whole room. Next to this TR-88, which has the gradient keys, the 88 weighted piano keys. That's my go-to, but the DX7 is, you can see it, it's right there on the bottom. That's it. That's at the optimal playing position. The M1 is above it, the ESQ1, and then the Poly 800 sits on top because it's Poly 800. So don't need to reach for it too often. So in a nutshell, that's it. The Arturia is the best because it adds effects, it adds the graphic user interface. It's just, you can dive in and it's very immediate. Dexed is a great librarian. It's a great way to have all your patches in one place and try things out, make custom cartridges, and then send to your DX7 or export and then send to Arturia. And then the hardware from the original from Yamaha, it's fantastic because the key bed, and it's a piece of history. I mean, why not? You can pick them up for, I think I paid $230 for mine, and it was, I found out why it was such a good deal. I think you can get them for like $500 now. So, I mean, it's a legendary synth. Everybody's used them. Everyone's heard them. And it has endless possibilities. I mean, it was invented by a professor at Stanford. It's not, it's a piece of synthesizer history. So that's it. Get one if you don't. If you don't want to, get Dexed or get the Arturia. So that's it. That's my opinion on the DX7, all the DX7s and all their versions that I have and that I'm familiar with, that I care to comment on. Thanks for watching. Check out the links in the description. If you learned something from the video, check out the coffee page, buy me a coffee or a kombucha. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Come back for more next time. Thanks again.